Dear students, welcome again. Today we will cover the main and important ideas in the second two sections, which are reading and writing in theme 6, safety. So we start with reading now. As usual, general summary and vocabulary. Okay, read the following text and underline the proper words. We are trying to make you guess here. Today, more than 50% of the world's population or carbon live in towns and cities. In 25 years, this number will increase or reduce to 2/3. Of course, you know the word population from previous sessions, so you should be familiar. So the correct word is population, right? Today, more than 50% of the world's population live in towns and cities. In 25 years, this number will, what do you think, increase or reduce? Of course, it will increase to 2/3. This urbanization or dump of the world is causing big problems for environment. It is difficult for city authorities to provide a healthy or dirty city with clean water and air or noise. Okay, again, this, what do you think? This urbanization of the world is causing big problems for the environment. It is difficult for city authorities to provide a healthy or dirty, of course, healthy city with clean water and air. There are many connections between big cities and damage or construction to the environment. There are many connections between big cities and, what do you think? Damage to the environment. Between big cities and damage to the environment. We always have a lot of damage to the environment in big cities. The UAE has urbanized or solved quickly over a short time, but this development or wildlife has brought problems. The UAE has, what happened to the UAE? Has urbanized quickly. It has become an urban area quickly over a short time, but this development or wildlife, of course, this development has brought problems. Firstly, green or construction is a very dirty or solar activity. Factories or law involved in the industry produce a lot of noise or air and public transport or pollution. Again, firstly, green or construction is a very dirty or solar activity. Yes, firstly, construction, the process of building or constructing, is very dirty activity. Factories or law involved in the industry produce a lot of noise or air. So, factories involved in the industry produce a lot of noise, of course. They make such a big noise. And public transport or pollution. And pollution, of course. Pollution is not a good thing to the environment. Secondly, storm breakers or quarries of factories produce a lot of air or dust which causes health problems. Storm breakers, or we need a word meaning storm breakers, that is, of course, quarries. produce a lot of air or dust, of course, dust, which causes health problems. Thirdly, factors of public transport and private or strict cars all create air pollution by burning oil or dust. Again, thirdly, factories, public transport, and, of course, private cars all create air pollution by burning, of course, oil. When they burn oil, they create pollution. Fourthly, a zero carbon or a large new population needs a very large amount of water. In a desert country, the easiest way to make this is from seawater, but this involves using dangerous chemicals or quarry. Again, fourthly, of course, a large new population needs a very large amount of water. In a desert country, the easiest way to make this is from seawater, but this involves using dangerous chemicals, of course. Now, city planners, those people who plan cities, must also provide protection or dump for nature. They must provide, of course, protection for nature. A city without plants, animals, and birds is not a comfortable place to live. Of course, if you don't have plants or animals, we will not feel comfortable. The oil industry may damage or protect the sea and the fish that live there. The oil industry may, what do you think? The oil industry may damage or destroy the sea and the fish that live there. How can we protect or increase the environment for all living creatures and continue to grow? The answer may be to use new technology. How can we protect or increase? Of course, how can we protect the environment for all living creatures and continue to grow? The answer may be to use new technology. Now we go through the vocabulary items. Reduce. Reduce. To make something less. Reduce. Urbanization. A noun. The verb is urbanize, to make something urban, and of course the adjective is urban. We know the word urban from previous sections. Now we have the word urbanize as a verb and then urbanization. It means to convert or to change a place from a rural place into an urban place, or to make a village into a country, to change it into to change a village into a city, a big city. Dump. Dump. Dump, of course, is to get rid of something, or especially garbage, in an unsuitable place. So if you get rid of your garbage or rubbish in a place where it doesn't belong to, what you're making is you're dumping things. Dump. Dump. Noise. Noise is a very loud sound. Noise. Damage. Destroy, as you can see in the picture. Damage could be a verb, could be a noun. Now solve. Usually this word is collocated with problem. I say solve a problem. Solve a problem. To find an answer to a problem. To find an answer to a problem. Wildlife. Wildlife. A word referring to all animals and plants, okay, living in a natural place. Okay, this word is the opposite of the word clean. This is dirty. Dirty means not clean. Not clean. Solar is something related to the sun. As you can see here, we have the picture of the sun. So anything related to the sun we call solar. Factory. Factory. Factory is a place or a building where things are manufactured or made. Law. Law. Law represents all kinds of rules made by the government, which people should respect. Law. Now, public transport. Public transport, like buses, trains, etc. Those forms of transport that are used by most people. Pollution. Pollution. Pollution is causing the environment not to be clean. Quarry. Quarry. Quarry is a place where people can cut stones, find stones. Okay, so this is quarry. Quarry. Can you guess from the picture? Of course, yes, it's dust. 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 Private. 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 Something that belongs to a person or a group that is private. Strict. Strict. If I describe a person as a strict person, it means that he doesn't allow some things. For example, a strict teacher wouldn't allow students to go out of the class. Zero carbon. Zero carbon. You can guess from the name, zero and carbon, so it should be something that is free of carbon or that doesn't have any carbon. Chemicals or chemical. Of course, these are some substances related to chemistry. These are all the things you can see in the picture are chemicals. Protection. Protection. This is the noun of the verb protect. Now, I'd like you to match each of the previous words with the right definition. Loud, unpleasant, or unwanted sound. I can almost hear you. Very good. That's noise. Noise. Next, to find an answer to a problem. To find an answer to a problem. Very good, students. That's solve. Solve a problem. Relating to the sun. Relating to the sun. A word beginning with S. That is great. That's solar. Solar. Animals and plants growing in natural conditions. Animals and plants growing in natural conditions. Wildlife. Great. Wildlife. To make something less. To make something less. Very good. That's reduce, reduce. To throw garbage or rubbish in an unsuitable place. To throw garbage or rubbish in an unsuitable place. That is, dump, dump. Not clean. Most of you will know the answer, I'm sure. Not clean. Of course, the word is dirty, dirty. A large building where goods are manufactured. A large building where goods are manufactured or made. Factory, factory. Harm or injury or destruction to a place, that is, damage, damage. The act of building houses, towns, etc. in the countryside. So it is actually the act of trying to change the countryside or the rural places into urban places. This is called urbanization. Urbanization. Great work. The act of making air, rivers, etc. dirty. If you make the river dirty, actually you are causing it to be polluted. So the word is, great students, that's pollution. Pollution. Dry dirt in the form of powder. Powder. Dirt in the form of powder that covers surfaces inside a building, very small dry pieces of earth, sand or other substances. Yes, good. That's dust. Dust. Belonging to one particular person or group. If you have something that belongs to a person, you know that this is something private. If I say a private car, it belongs to a particular person or a group. Private. An official rule to a country. An official rule to a country. That is law. Law. It's usually made by the government. The lowest possible amount of level of carbon. If you have something that does not have carbon or free of carbon, we call it, great, easy, zero carbon. Zero carbon. Keeping something safe so it is not harmed. Keeping something safe so it is not harmed. So if you try to keep something safe, you are actually trying to protect it. So the noun of that is, can hear you, yeah, protection. Protection. Buses, trains, etc. that anybody can use. Anybody can use. Of course, it's great, students. Public transport. Public transport. Those forms of transport that can be used by anybody. Connecting with chemistry. A substance that is produced in a process that involves changing the structure of a substance. Something connecting with chemistry, that is. Great. Chemical. Chemical. Not allowing people break rules or behave badly. That must be obeyed. I mean, if you have a person that does not allow people to break the rules, we call that person strict. Yes, strict. Remember, a strict teacher does not allow students to go out. A place where sand, stone, etc. is dug out of the ground. So this is a place where sand, stone is dug out of the ground. Or you could also cut stones there. So this is called quarry. 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 Now please choose the correct word. Nuclear waste shouldn't be dumped, reduced, or solved in the sea. Nuclear waste shouldn't be dumped, reduced, or solved in the sea. Dumped shouldn't be dumped. Good students. Why is the engine making so much urbanization, noise, or low? The engine is making so much, very good, noise. Why is the engine making so much noise? Number 3. They are doing their best to solve, damage, or pollute the puzzle. Puzzle. Okay, so what word should we use with puzzle or problem? They are doing their best to, of course, solve the puzzle. Solve the puzzle. My car broke down, so I had to take the broke down means it stopped working. It doesn't work anymore. My car broke down, so I had to take the public transport, law, or factory. Of course, I had to take the public transport. Okay. Now, major steps are being taken to control the quarry, dust, or pollution of beaches. Beaches. Major steps are being taken to control. Yes, please shout the answer now. To control the, of course, very good, pollution of beaches. Pollution of beaches. 6. This is a strict solar or private property. You may not park here. You may not park here because this is a what property? Okay, something that is owned by a person or a group. We call that, of course, private property. This is a private property. You may not park here. 7. Vaccination against measles gives you protection, oil or chemical against the disease. Vaccination against measles. Measles is a kind of disease, okay? And vaccination is a kind of medicine you take in order to protect yourself against a certain disease. So vaccination, I almost gave you the answer here. Vaccination against measles gives you, of course, I can hear it, gives you protection. Protection against the disease. And now we move on to writing. Again, general summary and vocabulary. In this section, you are going to write about safety in sport. A very interesting issue. The vocabulary items are as follows. Warm up. Warm up. As you can see in the picture, and I know most of you, especially the boys, are very interested in following football matches. You usually see the players before any game, they start to warm up. Warm up. Meaning that they try to prepare themselves for the game, because if they don't do that, they might get serious injuries. Okay, so we have to warm up before any exercise or sports activity. Warm up. Warm up. Training. Training. If you get trained for something, you get prepared for something. Okay, as you can see in the pictures, these persons or these people are receiving some kind of training. Exercise, I think it's a very famous word. Exercise, these people are doing exercises. Damage, and we have already tackled that word in the previous section. Damage. Okay, damage. It means to destroy something or the destruction of something. Okay. Helmet. Okay, this kind of hat is called helmet. We usually use that in order to protect ourselves. Okay, helmet. So it's one way of safety. Helmet. Now, muscles. Muscle. You can see in the picture, of course, these are pictures showing the muscles in your body. Okay, usually sportsmen usually have a lot of muscles in their body. Okay, that means you are a strong person if you have muscles. Fun. Fun. Short word, but a very nice word. Fun. If you're having fun, you're enjoying. Okay, you're having fun. Now, injury. Injury. If you are injured, it means there is something wrong with you. You should be in hospital. Injury. Injury. Dangerous. Dangerous. The picture can speak even clearer than me. Okay, if there is something dangerous, you usually see these signs. Dangerous. Bones. Bones. The bones in your body. Okay, bones. You have bones under your flesh. Risk. Risk. In the picture, a man is trying to cross, okay, here, but there is a risk that he might fall. It is dangerous, he might fall. So this is a risk. And this man is trying to jump between two mountains, which is a great risk because he might fall. Skillful. If we say somebody is skillful, we mean that he's very clever at doing something. So this boy is very skillful because he's playing with the ball, and this person is seemingly very skillful at what he's doing. Reduce, which is not a new word now. Reduce, to make something less. Reduce. Usually we say the word, we see the word reduce when we are using our cars and moving very fast. There is always a sign remind us that we should reduce speed. We are always told to reduce speed. Sport. Okay. These people, of course, are sportsmen. So, sport. Bruises. Bruises. Bruises are kind of signs that you have on your face after an accident or an injury. So you still have some kind of marks on your face like these. Okay. We call those bruises. Usually when somebody hits you or when you have an accident, you have bruises or marks on your face or in your body, of course. Protective. We studied the word protect and protection, and now we have the adjective protective. Protective. Something that protects you. Riders. Very easy word. people who ride things, riders. Blood flow, meaning the movement of blood, Equipment. Take care of that word because it means special tools we use for something, but the most difficult thing about this is that it is an uncountable noun, so we can never say equipments, for example, because you cannot count it. You can say one piece of equipment, two pieces of equipment, and so on. If you'd like to make the plural form of it, you can use the word piece of equipment. Okay? These means the special. These mean the special tools or special things you use for something, for a special purpose. Now please complete the text with one of the previous words. Sport and dots are a good way to dots. They should be dots too. Sport and exercise are a good way to relax. They should be fun too. Sport and exercise are a good way to relax. They should be fun too. But they can also be dangerous. You take a risk every time you take part in sport or exercise. But they can also be dangerous. You take a risk every time you take part in sport or exercise. But you can reduce the risk if you follow some simple rules and consider some pieces of advice. You can reduce the risk if you follow some simple rules and consider some pieces of advice. Always warm up before you do hard exercise. You have to warm up before you do hard exercise. This gets your muscles working well, increases the blood flow, and reduces the chance of problems. Again, always warm up before you do hard exercise. This gets your muscles working well, increases blood flow, and reduces the chance of problems. Wear dots equipment, wear protective equipment. Wear protective equipment. For example, a helmet if there is any risk of injury. Wear protective equipment. For example, a helmet if there is any risk of injury. So a helmet is one sort of protective equipment. Sports protective equipment reduces risks. Sports protective equipment reduces risks. Muscle damage, broken bones, cuts, bruises, and damaged joints are some common sports injuries. Muscle damage, broken bones, cuts, bruises, and damaged joints are some common sport injuries. Riders must be strong and skillful. Clever. Riders must be strong and skillful. A goalkeeper does the same training as the rest of the team. A goalkeeper does the same training as the rest of the team. Now please match each of the previous words with the right definition. Should be easy now. A possibility of something dangerous. Okay, a possibility of something dangerous. If there is a possibility that something wrong will happen to you, we call that a risk. A steady and continuous movement of blood. So the movement of blood, we call that good. Blood flow. A type of hard hat that you wear to protect your head. Something you wear on your head to protect your head, we call that helmet. A piece of flesh inside the body which you can tighten or relax to produce movement. If you have that, you are very strong. A piece of flesh inside the body which you can tighten or relax to produce movement. We call that muscle. To become less worried or tense. If you are not worried, so what do? You are going to, of course, relax. Very good. Relax. To prepare for something by practicing gently. So if you have a game, a match or something, you should practice gently before that, which we call warm up. Even teachers use warm up before they start their lessons. We usually start with a warm up activity. Pleasure and enjoyment. Very short word. That is fun. Okay. I hope your English classes are fun. One of the hard parts inside the body. Okay, that is bone. The preparation for a sport. What is that? Training. But of course we can use the word training in other places. I mean, not only sport. We can get a training at work, for example. I might get a training to be a teacher. Harm or hurt done to a person or a part of the body. Harm or hurt done to a person or part of the body. If you have that, you should go to hospital. Injury. A person who rides a horse, a bicycle, etc. A person who rides a horse, a bicycle, etc. A person who rides. We call that, of course, rider. Very good at doing something. If you are a very good person, we call you a clever person, or yes, skillful. A dark mark on the skin caused by a blow. If you have some mark on your face or your skin, okay, this means you have a bruise. The things that are needed for carrying out particular activity. Remember, this word is an uncountable noun. We have to say a piece of, okay, the things or special tools you need for a particular activity. We call that equipment. Equipment. Now, time for exercises. Fill in the spaces with words from the above list. Remember, make any necessary changes because there might be changes. We had a lot of at the party last night. A lot of, if there is a party, of course we had a lot of fun at the party. Number 2, riding a bicycle is good for developing the leg. Riding a bicycle is good for developing the leg. Good. Muscles. The leg muscles. Number 3, this holiday will give you a chance to, okay, what do we do on holidays? We usually relax. This holiday will give you a chance to relax. He didn't break any, but he suffered cuts and dots to his face. He didn't break any. Usually we break bones. He didn't break any bones, but he suffered cuts and bruises to his face. They are dots for the Olympics. They are dots for the Olympics. They are training for the Olympics. They are preparing for the Olympics. Getting ready for the Olympics. Again, they are training for the Olympics. Number 6, the team dots before the match. The team dots before the match. The team warmed up before the match. The team warmed up before the match. Number 7, she is a dots guitar player. Clever. She is a clever person. She is a skillful guitar player. This is a very useful piece of kitchen. This is a very useful piece of kitchen. Piece of, that's an uncountable noun. Piece of kitchen equipment. Equipment. And now for the self-study. Time for self-study topics. Okay. Try to do some research in the library or on the net to write a report about sport safety. I mean, what are the things you should do in order to make it safe for you to practice sports? Consider these questions. How dangerous is doing sport? Do you think sport might be dangerous? Do you think it is dangerous? How can sports people and the public keep safer when they exercise? Are there any things you can do in order to keep safe when you are practicing or doing exercises? Think about that. What are some common sports injuries? You have to give names. Find the most common injuries. Is it breaking bones, for example, or what? Do women have more sports injuries than men? That's a good question. Is there any difference between women and men in number of sports injuries? Should training be the same for male, female sports people? So do you think, is it of any significance if you are a male or a female? Should you do something different if you are a female, for example? And what is the healthy way to start a day? Very good. What is the healthy way to start a day? Good questions to consider. Does sports equipment reduce risks? So if you use the right equipment, does that help us to keep safer? What do you think? And it's not only about what you think, but you have to find answers on the internet. It's a research. What do riders need to be safer? So people who ride bicycles or horses or anything, what should they do in order to be safe?
This is the end of our session today. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time with the grammar session. Goodbye.